Hey everyone, we've just come to a very overly flooded beaver swamp, and we're gonna see if we can do anything about this today. Water was likely crossing here not too long ago, and wow, there's a second culvert here. There's gotta be. Look at the water just going into that little hole. So this is a second pipe. That's a really small one. So this small pipe, it's not very deep into the ground either. That one wouldn't be the hardest to open, but we're gonna try to get the one that'll actually solve the problem the most. There's a giant one up here. I wanna see if we can do anything about it. Part of this beaver swamp is still frozen, but it's that time of year again. We're allowed to start taking down their dams because it's not going to kill them this time of year. They can move. Right underneath us, this is not a pipe. See this? This is showing you the dangers of these beavers. See this water trickling through the road? Anywhere this road gets started sinking or wash out, it's so waterlogged. Look at that. This right here, the beaver cut it so recently, the tree is still bleeding sap. Definitely active beavers here in the swamp. And take a look at this culvert pipe. I can tell this thing is almost brand new. Unfortunately, I don't think it's big enough to go inside. Look at all the debris there from past uncloggings by other people. Look at this. This pipe is almost brand new. You think we can get this thing blasting? Oh my gosh, look what's down there. There's some deer. They're watching us. This area has the most deer I've ever seen in my life except out west. Today I must have seen 3 dozen of them going down this road. Got to be pretty careful out here because these deer, they'll jump in front of your car, unlike a moose. Moose will just stand there. A moose is not going to just run out in the road. While these guys, they're jumpy and they think your vehicle's a predator. So they'll race your vehicle and they will actually try to jump in front of it because they think they're confusing you, I guess. I've had multiple deer try to race me and then go across the front of the vehicle. So anytime I know there's deer in the area, don't want to go too fast. Look at this, another culvert pipe completely plugged by the beavers. This is a smaller one. I wonder how deeply plugged this is. If it's just on the end of the pipe, it's also a little bit crumpled, so I don't know if we could do anything here. But if it's just on the end, this might be a very easy one to open also. Is there another pipe down here? We're still investigating the area. I had just arrived a couple minutes ago. If there is another one, we likely won't be able to get to it because there's still a good amount of snowbank. If there is one, it's completely underneath all this debris. I don't think there is a fourth pipe. Take a look at all this forest that you can tell died over just the past couple years from the beavers. And you see right here, all these little tiny cedar trees, they're turning brown. It might be too late for them after the flooding of the beaver. So, before we go get the rake and camera number 2, I just want to go down in the water with my big high boots. This is a pretty big pond, and I don't see a lodge in sight, so I don't think we have to worry about a territorial beaver attack. So, oh my gosh, thank you, beavers. This is gonna be an easy day. And also, I'm gonna put so many ribbons on these pipes so the beaver trapper knows about this area. Now, in this area, we do a certain combination for the beaver trapper. What I'm gonna do in this area is put up a whole bunch of orange ribbons mixed with a couple blue ones. And actually, it looks like they may have already done that over here. This might be from a different attempt. But that area marked like that in this certain area with this certain company means beaver trappers needed. But they made it easy for us. We can easily get some water flowing in there and very quickly get a torrent of water going, blasting enough to help us rip it apart. And then we'll go down to the second pipe. Looks like it may also be pretty easy. This issue looks like the beavers recently showed up. It looks like they've definitely had problems over the years, but this all seems like a new problem to me. And then pipe number 3, we'll work on last, because this one has the least benefit. If you look out there, the water's not very deep. Also, this one is going to be a major pain in the butt, because I don't even know where the end of the pipe is. And considering it's going in multiple spots, and considering, look at this growth all over. This one's going to be so full of roots. So it looks like this one's been blocked many years, but they recently put that pipe in probably after trapping the first family of beavers, because I can tell this area here, this hasn't been flooded too long. That's for camera alignment, so you guys can see what's going on the other side in real time. And we're gonna shut the sound off on camera number 2, because that can get annoying pretty fast. And honestly, I'm probably gonna, I can see it from here, I'm gonna peek on camera number 2, just to make sure the blast doesn't take it down, although it shouldn't where I put it. This water smells bad. Smells like a skunk. That thing's starting to rip itself apart. Water's very cold. I can tell this whole dam was built this spring. It's brand new. And we're almost done. I keep, for some reason, thinking it's a pipe big enough to walk in, but it's really not that big. I want to go back on the other side a little bit. Almost completely open. We're at about 90%. We'll get it in a few minutes. At least it's a brand new pipe, barely any excavator damage. Now I'm ripping apart the foundation while we have current to take it away. so they just have more trouble building back. But I'm thinking these are young beavers. They haven't become extreme experts yet. Guys, when did this happen? When did camera number 2 fall over? At least it didn't fall in the water. Woo-hoo! Go downstream. Go downstream, big old blockage. Nice. Now I'm just going to clean up a little bit on the other side. All right, everyone, I'm back. That water level got higher than expected over there because that debris pile was diverting it to the sides. Now that we got rid of that debris pile, it'll be more space for next time. All right, we got it down pretty good. Let's go down to the second pipe now. This will drain back fast, considering it's not going across the road. There's not a lot feeding this. Look at what we got going. Awesome. Look at that amount of water, and there's the blockage in the middle of the river. This whole area is starting to flood over here. But this will be down in about an hour or so. Here's what it looked like before. Look at this. This pipe is almost brand new. You think we can get this thing blasting? And here's what it looks like after. That is awesome. Now let's go down the road and see what we can do on this much smaller pipe. We're not gonna touch number 3. Too many roots. I know it's not in my power to do that. Even if I had a little saw, I'd be here all day doing it. That's a job for the excavator. All right, everybody, camera number 2 is going. Let's see if this one will be as easy as the first. They put a lot of rocks in this one. Beavers. That's an airplane. They put so many rocks in this one. And it's already murky, I can't see what I'm doing. But I know I was able to poke through it, as you can see on the other camera, I'm sure. Where's the pipe? This water's freezing. Is that the pipe? Yep. Yeah. This may not seem like a lot, but this takes the breath out of you. These stubborn blockages. I know we're getting something though. This whole area smells like poop. It's moose manure, I know it is, I can smell it. Water's starting to clear up, we're getting some kind of suction going. There's just so many rocks, and this pipe's, I'm also seeing, is now crumpled, which is a problem, but I'm sure we can still get some of it open. We already did get some of it open. I'm gonna keep trying for a little bit, improve it for a bit. Definitely a good amount of excavator damage. Don't let anything pass through yet. It could plug up what we already have. Gotta wait a little bit. It's definitely doing something. See what we got on the other side. Definitely an improvement. Definitely. It's definitely helping. I don't care if I get wet. I really don't. Bending my rake. It's possible this goes out of my reach. Poking holes through the dam. What I'm doing. This water's freezing. Are we making it better or worse? Definitely better, it looks like. We might not be able to do more than this. I don't know if the pipe is crushed or what could be in there, but I'm not being able to push it. The amount of resistance. I think this pipe is crushed. I'm hitting something that's solid that I can't push through on the bottom. I've seen a slight whirlpool. It's a lot better than when we started. There was like nothing when we started. I'm gonna try a couple more minutes. This is solid. Very solid. Hands are turning pink, the water's so cold. We're getting nowhere. It's better than it was, at least. And we got the most important pipe open. That brand new pipe was installed, I can tell, less than a year ago. Absolutely no grass is growing around it. Nothing has started growing around it yet. Which tells me the road crew actually, I don't think, cares about these other pipes, especially the one with trees growing in front of it, because they would have done something about it when they were here with the excavator. So I'm gonna have to mark this place for trapping and stuff. Hey, look at my hands. My hands are pink, but I'm not really concerned. The weather's warm enough out today. Camera number 2 off, and let's take a look at the area and what we've done. All right, everybody, after the last half an hour or so since the unclogging, check it out. No more water right here in the road. It's now receding. No more water going down this little hole. I was stomping around right here. The pipe is most likely there. This is a fairly small pipe, number 3. And look at this. Since when we first got on the scene, here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like after. See, this whole area is now backed up from the water we're discharging. This whole area is filling in. That's because there must be another beaver dam slightly downstream that is retaining this. But that's all right. It won't be going on for long. This place isn't that big. We're probably releasing 500,000 gallons of water here today by the time this is over. The trees you're seeing over here are not dead. Those are called tamaracks. They lose their needles for the winter time. The only type of pine tree that's not evergreen around here. Yeah, see how slow this is going around the corner? There's gotta be a beaver dam up there. Let's go on a little adventure and see. Beaver dam downstream is not posing any harm to the road. It's extremely rare when a downstream dam would cause a problem. But take a look at the construction here. Can you see how big this beaver's foundation is that they've built here? But this thing is handling a ton of water. Real good amount. But if there's active beavers, they'll be on scene soon. Looking around at the water lines on all the trees, so far in the past half an hour, we've lost about 6 inches or so. So let's go down on the other side. You see, the ground hasn't even stabilized yet from when they did the excavation. By the end of summer, this will all be grass and it'll be holding itself together pretty well. Good amount of water coming out. So here's everything from our unclogging today. There's another pile there, another giant pile there. Another pile here. So this thing has been unclogged a lot in recent times. So you see how this whole area is backing up downstream? We'll walk in here maybe a little bit. Whoa! I think I just reached the end of my big high boots. I don't know if we can go any further. I'm like almost maxed out. There's gotta be a beaver dam though. I'm maxed out. This area is way too deep now. So we're going back up. That didn't last long. You see there's still a good amount of snow in the woods. This area can have snow still on the ground well into the month of May. Much further north. Only 3 months of growing season up in this climate. I love how the rocks break. Look at that. Isn't that cool? If we're still in the area around bedtime, I might put a trail camera up on this, but it depends what we find. If this area becomes a dead end, I'll come back here to this area, and this is where I will probably sleep for the night. Otherwise, if we're far away, I'm not coming back to this area anytime soon to get the camera. But I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching and have a great day. You know what, we may not catch beavers, but even if I pass by this place in just a couple of hours, we'll get some sort of time lapse of this water going down. So I have that thing making a 10-second recording every 4 minutes. And then we'll splice all those together and speed them up for a nice time lapse. And if we do get any beavers, I'll show you those clips. Thanks for watching. Yeah, so what changed my mind was I really wanted to put the camera out today, since this is like my first opportunity of the year that I 100% know there's active beavers, and it's a good place to be putting a camera. So I definitely wanted to do that. It's not every day you come across a situation like this. You guys see me uploading clog videos all the time, but the truth is probably 90% of the pipes we check have nothing wrong, or nothing really worth making a video out of, just minimal things inside it. It's not every day you come across that. I've been out here now for about 5 days, and over those 5 days I've probably driven 1,200 miles, and that right there is by far the biggest blockage we've come across so far. Most of the blockages I find are just plastic pipes that failed, which you really can't do anything but put marking tape up for the contractor who's responsible for excavating. That's about it. Pretty cool that we still got a lot of snow on the ground though. Oh, what is this? First off the bat, you notice that the water level on each side is almost equal, but maybe there's a beaver situation. Let's just park and get out for a moment. Ooh, got some pretty flowers starting all over the side of the road today. Got a good amount of water coming out, so I don't think it's a blockage. I think this pipe is just at about its capacity. I'm not worried about leaving the vehicle in the middle of the road. Honestly, I have not passed a single vehicle in 5 days out here. I was behind a guy for a little while, but have not passed a single person. Yep, this is all we got for debris today. We're gonna race, okay? It's going through. Woo! Off into the swamp. So over here, there is actually a grate, which is meant to go over there. Maybe they removed it for the spring thaw. I don't know. We're gonna leave it off for now, but this is definitely for the beavers. You don't want a beaver building in the middle of the pipe like back there on culvert number 2. A grate means the blockage is gonna be on the end where it can easily be removed. Yes, it can form faster, but without the headache of having to get heavy machinery out to clear the pipe. Check it out. About 100 feet down the road, we got another pipe. Let's see what's up with this one. This one's mangled. This thing's gonna have to be replaced. Nothing blocking it though. Take a look. There are hundreds of dying cedar trees because of the water backup. Maybe this place was flooded by beavers. They wouldn't have died from current water levels. So at this section of road we just got onto, they're no longer plowing this far. Seriously, traction control. Seriously, gotta shut you off. It's traction control. It doesn't like me. Yeah, you see the road, I can see up there like 1,500 feet ahead. There's no more snow, so we can travel. It's just this darker area where it's still sticking around. All right, we just got into this section of road where there is a pretty good amount of snow. Yeah, this snow is so deep that I'm already bottoming out, as you can hear. And if you can see right here, there's a gigantic dip in the road, like a giant sinkhole opened up right there. I just want to get out for a minute and I want to check out that sinkhole. I don't think we should go any further down this road. There are no other tracks. Nobody else has been down this road all year. Nobody else has been down this road all year. And now I'm like 30 miles down a snowy road that no one's been down, but there's warm weather. It's just gonna get better. I just have to wait it out for a few days. A lot of warm weather in the forecast. So no, there actually is not a dip here. There's just no snow there, it appears. Because you see how far I'm sinking? It's kind of even to this part of the road. No, there's just no water here. Yeah, you see, I'm walking through over a foot of snow at the moment, and see these tracks here? This was a moose. I do see a snowmobile track here though. Yeah, believe it or not, this week I've seen people still using snowmobiles. Not necessarily this road, but there are still roads. It's good enough. On the shady side of the road, you can go miles with a snowmobile still. So right here, this culvert is in failing condition. Look at this. Look at the holes in this pipe. Can you see that with the sun? I know the sun is really annoying. I hope you're able to see how the culvert is just sliced open in multiple spots. It looks like the excavator, snowplow. No, I didn't mean to say excavator. The grader. And look at these pieces of rebar. What are these for? Oh, there's like a homemade welded grate for the beavers right there. Let's see if we can just pull that out of there for now and let road crews put that back at some point, because this thing is, no, it's not welded together. That's why it's coming out all weird. It's just tied together. And look at those weird holes. Did they make those holes to slide rebar down through? Never seen anything like that. There is a little bit of a blockage. I'm gonna kick out of the way with my feet. Active beavers, look at that. Beavers are here very recently. Just loosen up some of this debris. Take this giant stick out of here. It's just holding up most of it. Just kick around with my feet. There is some debris I'm loosening up. Cool. But also there's some excavator damage. It's like a good lip on the bottom of that. All right, and now that we're not going to be driving into the sun anymore, there's a couple things I drove past I want to show you on the way back while it'll be good to do so. All right, backing out. Traction control is so annoying because I wish you could just leave it off. All right, we're out of the snow. You see, it's just maybe that started its life as a snow drift. I don't know. All right, so I just turned around just a minute ago. Before I go out of this road, I just want to show you this. Maybe we should walk around here. I'm sure the beavers have something to do with this. This road is so flooded. I'm gonna be a little while, so I just shut the car off. If I'm only gonna be out less than 5 minutes, I was told a while back by my mechanic, just leave the car running. It's not worth the wear and tear on your starter, because I used to turn it off sometimes even 50 times a day. Every time I got out to flag and I was told to not do that. Look at the water going across. Pipe right here, plugged. It's under the ice, can't get to it. This whole road needs to be excavated though anyways. This is a good amount of flow. That pipe wouldn't even be able to handle this. There's probably a bigger pipe up here though. I literally can drive through this if I wanted. This road is so rocky, it would hold a vehicle. And look at this beaver dam intruding into the road. And look at the size of that cedar tree that just fell over. Imagine how powerful and strong a dam would be if they made it out of cedar wood. I honestly don't know if beavers would like to chew that or not. Here's the bigger pipe. And it's right underneath a massive beaver dam. And look at the amount of silt. Good luck finding that by hand. Someone may have been trying to shoot the beaver. These are very fresh shells by the rust. They haven't been out here very long. Can anyone tell me in the comments, does anybody know what kind of shot that was? Because I'm not sure. I hear more water. This is all a beaver dam too, with water trickling over it. But this road, the chances of actually getting somebody out here to fix it are minimal, because this road I can tell is not being used. This is actually a temporary artery, unlike the one I just was on with the snow. That one will definitely be fixed because it's used and people actually have seasonal homes on it. But this road is for no other purpose than just going out to get logs. The only reason it's open at the moment is from hunters, people exploring the deep wilderness. That's all it is. Kind of cool. Have you guys ever been in a science class in school where they had you take apart an owl poop? They did in my, I think, elementary school. They had us take apart, no, this is not an owl poop. It's an owl pellet that they actually throw up with all the bones that they can't digest. And they had us glue them together and try to recreate the skeleton of whatever animal it was. But they were sanitized before handing them out to children. There's also a bunch of other bones right here, which by the teeth might actually be a crushed beaver. In this section of beaver swamp I just stopped at on the way back, look at the pipe. Look how long it is. There's no beaver structure. I wonder why they made it so long. Maybe so it's easier to find for the excavator guy. When it's against the edge, sometimes it's really hard to find. So that's why sometimes the excavator destroys it so much. Maybe that's their thinking. And look over here, got a beaver dam, a big old beaver lodge that looks like it's probably still active. Pulling off. I just scared away some ducks. Maybe you saw them land. This section of woods is absolutely beautiful. The woods just keeps looking more and more beautiful. The trees don't even get as big up here because we are extremely far north today. Someday maybe I'll head up into northern Canada on those roads. You should look at northern Canada from Google Maps. It looks amazing. There are tens of thousands of little beaver ponds all over the map, and it's so colorful, the moss and marshes. It's beautiful up there. We're stopping here. It doesn't look like a beaver issue. I just want to take a look at the pipe. It looks like it may have been a beaver issue, but they've probably been relocated by what I'm seeing. All right, we just got out. Good blast of water coming out the other side, and I'm seeing blue ribbons. So this area is in need of the trapper, or I think it already happened. Oh my gosh, it's a garbage plastic pipe down in there. Look at all the water going in through that little crevice. There is a good amount blocking the mouth of the pipe. Just gotta roll up my sleeve, reach on down in there. There's really not much blocking it, but just getting rid of that's not coming out. Just getting rid of a couple things can really make a difference. It's moving a lot of water over here into the swamp. And there's another pipe 100 feet down the road I'm about to walk to. So many moose tracks on the roads this far north. Although even driving around at night, we don't see too many. So here's another pipe. This one's working extremely well. This has got another really long pipe going out into the swamp. This looks like a fairly new pipe. Amazingly, it's not slippery. It probably would be if we were walking out on here in the summertime when slime and algae starts growing on it. Absolutely no blockage out there. Up here, I think there's even another pipe. Definitely another pipe out here. Let's see the situation on this one. Look how clean the riverbed is where it's getting blasted away, all the mud. Grass can't grow there. So this pipe, let's see what's up with this. This one doesn't go out that far. This one's got some damage, but it looks like it's fully unclogged as much as it can possibly be. It's just not going in as much as you would expect because it's dipped so much. It's just not able to get over. There's a high spot inside the pipe. You know, we gotta have a little bit of fun. I think there's enough current to do this today. The worst case, it's just gonna fall to the bottom of the water. Sometimes it's cool to just send a couple little stones through. Makes such a cool noise. Let's see if there's enough suction to make a very cool noise. Walking out here again onto the pipe. Let's see. No, there's not that kind of suction. Oh. You hear it? This one I think's too big. Yep, another. Well, at least it happened. You see how the pipe's going uphill? That really diminishes the flow that can actually go through it. If that thing was straightened out, I think it would have taken all of them. And there's more bobcat poop. It suddenly looks like winter again in this area of the road. I want to stay away from the left. There is a lot of snow over there. Could get easily stuck. Another pipe we're going over, that one's all clear. Take a look at this. We got some water crossing, but why? Let's try to find the pipe. Oh, there's a good amount of erosion there. Boom! Good thing I didn't hit that hard. I just shut the car off again because I'm gonna be here a little bit. Look at all that muddy water we just sent through by driving through that big rut. I think before I take off, I gotta put more gas in the car. When you come out to wilderness places like this, there's no way you're getting out here with a single tank of gas and returning. Well, actually, you will get out with a single tank of gas. That's why deep in the wilderness, during tourist season, they have checkpoints to make sure tourists don't make that mistake. Let's see if we can find the pipe. Let's look around for a bit. Okay, I just found a pipe right here, and you see as this builds up, you know, sediment that's washing through, grass is reinforcing and making a little dam. This pipe does not look the worst. If we walk to the other side, I don't know if we'll even be able to get to it because of the snow. We might have to return to this location sometime. I think we are gonna have to. Yeah, it's iced up underneath there. Where the snow is still existing, the ground is still frozen, so if there is a blockage under there, there's a good chance it's too frozen to mess with. But I don't think this is the only pipe causing this flood. We're gonna go look for another. There's no way that amount of water could fit through this unless it's stupidly undersized, which is sometimes the case, but usually not. Wow, my tires are actually black. They've been muddy all week. That water just gave it a good washing. And also in the forecast, the day I plan on going home looks like it's gonna be rainy, so that'll probably wash the car off once I get back onto the pavement. So no, I just walked around for a little while. I was unable to find any other pipe. It's possible it got blocked by the grader or something. If that is the case, it was a long time ago, since the entire side of the road is very grown in. Possible there's just not a pipe there. It's possible there's just not another pipe. So that area is definitely going to need to be fixed in the spring. I put up a couple little ribbons so they know there's a problem, even if it dries up. But I'm sure they'll know there's a problem because that erosion damage is not going to go away. Here's a pretty deep part that almost intimidated me into not going down the road at all. Oh, but it was pretty good. That's at the beginning where you saw I was having some issues. Now we're back onto the plowed road, and we're gonna continue up this way and see what we got before going back to look at that camera and maybe camping there for the night. This is one really tight road. I wonder what we're gonna find down here. Good thing it's not log truck season. You don't wanna come across one of them. I'd have to do like an 11-point turn or something to get around on this one. Sometimes when you are on tight roads like this, out here in the middle of nowhere, and you know there's logging trucks, you want to turn your CB radio to usually channel 19, and sometimes they're reading off their location sometimes, just to make sure there's not a collision, especially around tight corners and stuff on roads like this. But this road is actually really cool, but nothing said we can't go down here. Who knows, maybe it just goes to somebody's house. All right, we just came to a dead end, and we're gonna turn around. This is they're collecting maple syrup, and it looks like they're also boiling it into syrup. You see how there's a lot of smoke? I don't know if that smoke is from the heating oil tank. I think that's just for they can be warm in there working in the winter, because most of the sugar houses up here are wood burning. So that's a sugar house. That's all that's up there. I don't know what's beyond the plowed section, but this is just going to a sugar house. There's a lot of sugar houses up north here. They are everywhere. Today I must have gone by tens of thousands of trees that were tapped. Some of the pipes were 8 inches thick. That's how much sap they're getting in some of these big operations up here. They're huge. There's little shacks, shipping containers everywhere, which are pumping stations to get it to their main building, which is huge. It's like a giant facility you would not expect to find on a road like this, making syrup. It was actually kind of cool. You see right here overhead, those are maple lines that are being pumped across the road. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a whole spider web of little hoses attached to every single tree. This place is kind of cool. There's a couple dilapidated barns. Not that right there, that's a pumping house, but I actually saw a barn that's like falling apart and rotting. I'll show it on the way back, because I'm sure this is going to lead into a dead end or a sign saying they don't want you down there, because all these little roads that go into these areas, they don't want anyone going down there. I haven't actually seen any workers, but I do see a lot of trucks parked in these buildings. It's kind of embarrassing driving this junk box that's making so much rattling noise. I do have a broken shock, that's what's making that noise. It's just falling apart, but I know it's nothing that would strand me out here. Oh my gosh. Look at this barn, it like collapsed. Look at that, you think that was the weight of the snow? I think that was the weight of the snow, honestly. 'Cause just look. You see that big pile of snow? I think that slid off the roof before it collapsed. Wow. There's another little pump house. Here's more going over the road. You could drive hours on these roads, and this is just continuous. Ooh, that's a clogged culvert pipe, I think. But it's so far underneath the snowbank and mud, that's not a doable one. Look at the color of the electrical wire. You see that? I think it's supposed to look like red, white, and blue. The silver grounding cable in the middle, I think, is supposed to be the white. You see it right on the left? That's the electrical power going down here to all the little pumping stations. I think this is my first time in my life I've ever gone through a commercial maple farm. I think it might be. Going over a bridge. So that was cool. Took over a half an hour to drive through that part of the facility. It's just in the middle of the wilderness. It's surrounded by just millions of acres of wilderness. Yeah. I can tell they're getting ready to put a new deck on this bridge. By the amount of things that are dead against it, they stacked that there sometime last year. Take a look at this bridge deck that needs to be replaced. What I just showed you there are the pieces underneath. And there's another stack of this stuff on the top. So this whole bridge deck is being replaced. Look how bad off this is. Just tire chains just rotting. Carpenter ants sometimes go after this if it's untreated. A lot of times they use untreated lumber to build these bridges. We actually did pass someone's house. Imagine living in the middle of nowhere like this. That'd be so awesome. A car drives by like once a week. That's nice. Look at this. The railings fell off. They got a couple of nails sticking up, but you don't drive in a place like that. Yeah, see, you see everything under here. I'm surprised they're even replacing that. That stuff doesn't really look bad at all. It's just the actual deck. But you see, it's pretty hard to actually fall through one of these bridges. Even if those were bad, if you look under here, 1, 2, ooh, a spider. Look at that. There's a third and a fourth gigantic I-beam. You're not gonna completely fall through the bridge. You can mess up your vehicle pretty badly if the bridge ever did get that bad, but despite how it looks, there are massive I-beams under there that can hold 200,000-pound log trucks. I almost got stuck. You can't see it now because look how quickly it's filling in, but look at this, leaking groundwater. Out of nowhere, you can just suddenly sink sometimes. I was just about to pull over, and you can't see how deep this is unless I put my big high boot in there, maybe. And if I move it around, I go even deeper. It's like quicksand. It's like glue. It's like driving through concrete. I almost got stuck there, and you can see part of the vehicle, see, it bottomed out. That's how deep I sunk. Gotta be careful. There's no signal out here. Thankfully, we're within like an hour walk of some things, but some places out here, I could be 100 miles away from a building. It's not the middle of winter anymore, so it's really not a big deal. You're not gonna freeze to death if you didn't have a ton of fuel if you were to get stuck like that. But in the winter, you wanna have many extra tanks of fuel just in case you needed heat to survive out here for weeks in the winter time. You always wanna have a lot of food too. And I got water filtration. I only actually have a gallon of water left, even though I'm gonna be out here a couple more days. Just go to the cleanest looking river you can find and just filter some of it. Have you ever wondered what it's like to run down a railroad track with a vehicle? Well, this is kind of like it. This road must have been really soft when they were sending heavy log trucks down here. So there's a whole bunch of wooden timbers they put over the road. Look at this. It's not comfortable running over that at all. You see right here, there is likely a clogged culvert. It's almost certain. But there's no way we're getting to that with that giant snowbank. You know, as I'm driving, I like to snack on things like this. Got some slices of bread, and these I don't really like, but I gave them a try. Dehydrated kiwi. But I'm getting out right here because I want to see why this pipe's not working. See how it's all being bypassed to the next culvert? There is a culvert here. It's plastic. I already know why it's not working. It's certainly crushed in the ground. All right, everyone, we're back about 2 hours later. There's still a lot more to drain, but take a look at this. This was flooded earlier. Now it's actually drying out. Haven't lost much. Can't be more than 8 inches, but I see the pipe is showing a lot more than it was. We'll still get a good time lapse of that. I'm just gonna hang out here for probably the rest of the day. It's gonna take me to edit this footage, and yeah, that'll kill the rest of the day, so I'm gonna probably sleep here. The water is already flowing a little bit less. Yeah, big difference since we were last here. Here's what it looked like when I first put the camera up. You know what, we may not catch beavers, but even if I pass by this place in just a couple of hours, we'll get some sort of time lapse of this water going down. Yeah, pretty good difference, and with that amount of water flowing through it, the beaver's not gonna mess with it at this moment. Good. We're doing pretty good. Let's see how this is looking. Maybe we can actually see inside this pipe now. Probably in the morning though. Yeah, we'll have to check in later. It's still flowing better than it was, but the pipe is just about to come out of the water. It has to drop another foot before we can actually look inside. So while I was waiting here for a while, I went down to that culvert pipe and brushed my teeth at the discharge of it. Then I decided to sit down there for a little while, and suddenly, behind me, I didn't hear anything. I just decided to go back up to the road, and when I looked around, there was like a dozen deer up on the road staring at me, and they startled me bad. I yelled, "Ah!" and the whole herd of them just ran off into the woods. I'm hoping they come back. I just walked like at least, I don't know, maybe half a mile up this road, leaving a trail of breadcrumbs come all the way back. I'm hoping I can encourage them to come back down here, because that'd be really cool to film that giant group of them. They seem friendly. I was surprised they approached me like that. Maybe someone at one of these campgrounds around here. Maybe they're used to being fed. I was surprised how much they approached me. I have never seen that since I was at my grandmother's house years ago, when dozens of them used to show up every night for corn. Those guys were so friendly, you could even hand feed them. All right, everyone, it's been about 3 hours since I sat in the car to do some editing. Just stepped back out of the vehicle. You can see right here the water line, how much we've dropped. Look at this, all these little coves right here are all drying up now. That water grass will take that over really quickly once the weather starts getting warmer. We've gone down quite a bunch. Let's walk down towards the pipe. Now that a bunch of nastiness is starting to come out of the water, mud is being exposed, a whole bunch of rotten dead grass is now coming back out of the water, because you can tell by the clumps of grass, and the level that it's about to become is where this thing typically is. That was over flooded where it would even start drowning out the grass. Well, this whole area smells disgusting like the ocean at low tide. Wow, take a look at the difference here. This water was up to the top of that beaver dam on pipe number 3, and here's what it looked like before when we first showed up and it was still in the road. And here's what it looks like after. Yeah, we've probably dropped over a foot since I did this. That was probably now 6 hours ago or so. Look at this. Good amount. And this is a lot of good. Okay, you see this? This is a beaver dam right here. This is all a beaver dam. Because remember, before they put that pipe in, none of this was here. You can tell they raised the road like a good 3 feet. So now the beavers don't really have to do it anymore, but this is still kind of loose. That made sense why this morning, remember, we had water kind of seeping out of the ground there. This is showing you the dangers of these beavers. See this water trickling? Because a road's not meant to be a dam. It's not meant to have this whole pond pushing against it, which is kind of hazardous. See, I left a couple pieces of the deer, never came back, but I'm sure they'll eat it tonight. Yeah, look at this. Water has slowed down a whole ton. Here's what the water looked like before at its maximum peak. Awesome. Look at that amount of water. Yeah, it has definitely calmed down a lot. The water downstream has receded a good amount also. Over here, look at the pipe. Wow, that is a major difference. Look at this. Here's what it looked like before. A moose. Moose will just stand there. A moose is not gonna just run out. And here's what it looked like after. I've been wanting to show you guys from earlier. Typically, when there's not a lot of water backed up, this is still gonna go for a little while. It's probably gonna take all night to completely recede, but I'll show you in the morning. You see the rusty part on the bottom of the pipe? There's typically only about an inch of water normally flowing through this thing at any given time. So it's now about 4:30 in the afternoon. Doesn't get dark around here completely until 7:15. So I'm gonna get back in the vehicle and I'm gonna go for a ride, but I am gonna return here and I'm gonna sleep right next to the pipe. First thing in the morning, we're gonna grab the camera and see what's going on. Then we will head on out of here in the morning. Look at this. This pipe is actually out of the water enough now to take a look at it. When we first started, this thing was half a foot underwater. I wonder how deeply plugged this is. Now it's like half a foot above. Let's see if we can see in there at all. Show you guys the blockage. What do you guys see? Yeah, you can definitely see the beaver dam in there. It's kind of out of reach of me getting it. Even though I was able to poke holes through it, who knows how far it is. Ooh, I just scared away some ducks. Yeah, at least it's going better than it was, and this whole pool of water cleared up. Remember how muddy it was before? And stuff. Hey, look at my hands. Yeah, that cleared up a lot. At least a foot of loss. Maybe even close to 18 inches at this point. By the morning, I expect there to be over 2 feet of loss. All right, everyone. It's almost 8 o'clock, and we showed back up here before it got completely dark. So I'm gonna park here, and I think we're gonna grab the trail camera, and I'm gonna take the footage off of it for a time lapse of it draining because it's just about done. And I think I'm gonna put the camera back in there just for the overnight hours if the beaver was to show up. Now, a lot of times a beaver doesn't show up, but I am just gonna go ahead and give it a try. It's starting to get chilly out already, and I'm also soaked from going in another pipe. So I'm blasting the heat right now so I can get back in there and see what's on this camera. The water has gone down a lot. Because as the water gets lower, it has less surface area. So it'll make it look like it's disappearing faster. This place is starting to look a lot different, and it's about where it's going to stay until the beaver comes back. All right, there's not a lot going right now. Wow, look at this. When we got here, the water was up to about here. We lost a lot. And now it has got down to the point where a beaver, I think, could actually start plugging it. Might be difficult, though. I don't see any good building material. They're going to have to bring it from pretty far if they do show up tonight. All right, we're going back into the swamp right now to put the camera back in motion sensing mode, and listen carefully, you can hear a frog. And there must be a moose around here somewhere. So, you'll never believe who we just saw on the trail camera investigating the culvert pipe, but unable to do anything because of the extreme current. Yup, that's right. Hit the start button, it's ready. I'm gonna close this thing up, and I'm gonna walk inside there and stick it to the ceiling inside the pipe a little bit. There's no way they're gonna be able to build it to where they would get anywhere near the camera tonight. So I'm ready to go inside the pipe right now. There we go, get the light on. All right. So there was a beaver investigating here. So the beavers already know about this. So that's a good chance that they might build. Now this is gonna be a tight squeeze. Look, there's already a stick in here from the beaver. Already one stick. This is a very, very tight fit. That should do it. That should do it. We'll see what happens in the morning. Whoa. I'm gonna test that one time and make sure the infrared comes on. I'm gonna peek in there. Even just went in there too and looked at the first thing it recorded just to make sure it got a good angle. Look at the infrared flash. You can see it really, really good on camera, but to the human eye, I actually can't see that, which is amazing. Because the newer cameras have what they call black or purple flash. To your eye, you can't really see it. The older cameras actually produced a really big glow that supposedly would scare deer away. Am I seeing deer? No, just snowbanks. But I saw deer on the way. Yeah, I even got a video right here of them. All right, everyone, it's now 6 in the morning. I slept here in this gravel pit, and it's been pouring all night, so the roads might be a very muddy mess going around today. So I sleep here in the back of the vehicle, and everything in the front now has to come back here so I can get in the driver's seat, including the spare tire, and just 2 of those gas cans come back here with me. All right, so it is a little bit tedious moving everything from the front to the back so I can get into the driver's seat, and even tedious getting dressed in here. It's pouring outside, so I didn't want to leave all the doors open when I typically move things. And look in front of me, it's a gigantic pool of water. It's like a little quarry here. Just want to turn around. The water's not that deep, at least not in the edge. I don't know about the far end of this body of water. I'm just turning around right here. Look at that. The only dry spot is where I was parked all night. Time to get out of the gravel pit and back to the main road. We're only about 5 minutes away from the beaver area. One more really big splash before we go out to the main road. Take that back, it only took 1 minute to get here. Yeah, the swamp level sure is low compared to yesterday. Really low. Let's see what the beavers did overnight. Let's just stop right here for a minute. There's no traffic on these roads. Let's quickly grab the camera. It stopped raining as hard. Good. So take a look at how little it's flowing now. Take a look at all this debris right here. The beavers just put this pile of debris there last night. It must have got sent through as they were sticking it there. It wasn't sticking. You can see all the ends of those branches are cut by them. Now let's see what the beavers actually did. Is this debris from me? Yeah, that's from me. Let's see what the beaver did. They didn't accomplish much, but the beavers were definitely here trying last night. Just with my feet, get rid of those couple little things. And we'll probably come back in like a month or so and do an update on the area. Let's just grab our camera, see what it saw last night. I can't believe how low we got that water in the pipe. I just want to look at pipe number 2 before we take off. Huge difference. Yeah, look at pipe number 2. It's now so out of the water, it wouldn't even be functional really, even if that beaver dam wasn't in there. So that's the reason they put up beaver grates, because of this. It's impossible to get to the blockage unless it's on the very end. Of course, unless it's a pipe like the one I just went in to get the camera. It's big enough to actually go in there and work, although that's a little cramped. After sitting here for about 20 minutes going through what the camera has seen over the night, those beavers had help from the muskrats. They often work together. I saw that in the pipe last night. There was muskrats helping. But they didn't accomplish much because, like I said yesterday, There's not a lot of material available at that swamp. They have to get it from very far away, since all the growth around the pipe is dead from the flooded water. Nothing's growing around there. So I will include a few good clips of the beaver and a time lapse, and I'll post everything of the beaver separately as raw footage video. So here we are for the final time today, passing over the beaver swamp. Because of the lack of material, it'll probably take them a good week to get that thing plugged back up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.